Hello everybody, welcome back to the Craft Beer Hub. I've got another beer review for you and it is one that I'm really excited for. It is of this. This is the Schöfferhofer Hefeweizen and it is the juicy pineapple version. Now a lot of you will be saying, Mark, isn't it the grapefruit version? There's a new one. Or as far as I know there's a new one. It is this, juicy pineapple. It is 2.5% and it cost me £1.75 or something from Beers of Europe. I've been watching Simon, Real Ale Craft Beer, I'm watching his reviews recently because I've really got into my Weiss beers. He's been doing a lot of the German Weiss beers and a lot of them, sorry about my daughter going off at the door. He's been doing a lot of the German Weiss beers on his channel recently and I just thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to see what Beers of Europe have got because they're quite close to me. I've bought from them multiple times before. Because I've always seeked out the craft stuff from Beers of Europe. I never really went for the Weiss beers. And this was there. So I thought, why not give it a go? The Schöfferhofer grapefruit is for, I would say 2.5% is a lower ABV beer. I can't say low alcohol because that normally means 0.5% nowadays, doesn't it? But it's certainly a lower alcohol ABV beer. And it hits the mark fantastically well. I first tried it at my local craft beer pub down here in South Norfolk on keg and it was sensational. It blew my mind how much flavour there was. The body of it was insane and it was 2.5%. I just couldn't really get my head around it. So that really became a beer for the summer for me, and it's been the beer of the past couple of summers for me. Like I say, the 2.5%, they're easy drinking. They really are stick 4 or 5 in the fridge and you know you can sort of go about your daily duties all right on a couple of those. So when I saw they had a pineapple version in, that really got me excited. Let's get it in the glass and I'll talk as to why I think. I mean, if we're going to compare it, there's a Weiss beer here that I reviewed, or a wheat beer. This is a wheat beer, technically the same thing, I suppose. Called Neon Dream from Brewdog. It's described as a tropical wheat beer. And I'll explain the difference between this quality and this quality in a moment when I get it in the glass. I should have said it's a 500ml can, I think. Yeah, 500ml can. That's not bad for £1.75 or whatever it was. Oh my god, it smells amazing. Let's get it in the glass then. I've got my Weissstefana glass that's a little bit cloudy. I think the dishwasher's killing it. Look at that. Let's just swish it around the bottom because you never know what you've got in the bottom of a wheat beer can or a Weiss beer can. Yeah, it's got certainly got a little bit more cloudy. And boom, there we go. What do we have then? Well, we've got a very pale looking Weiss beer, it has to be said. It's not as cloudy as other Weiss beers, but it's got a 2-finger white foamy head. It looks the part. I mean, the Schöfferhofer, it kind of had a bit more of an orange hue to it. So, because I presume they used proper juice. And it gave it a bit more of an orange hue. This looks a bit more like a kind of hazy pale, I suppose. But I know what's coming. It's 2.5%, so allowances have to be made. Let's get our nose in, see what we get. Oh, I'll tell you what, you are still getting that wheaty, malty. That wheaty, malty, slightly peppery aroma from this wheat beer, but obviously the pineapple's in there. It's kind of candied pineapple. It kind of reminds me of, yeah, candied pineapple, sugary pineapple. Not quite pineapple chunks, it's a bit more candy than that. But you can still smell that wheaty, malty, spicy backbone that you expect a wheat beer to have. You can still smell it, which is fantastic. And we'll come on to the Brewdog beer in a minute. But yeah, let's go in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Beautifully bready and malty to start with. The sweet pineapple comes in quite quickly. But the rear end of this beer is quite drying. Slightly spicy. There is a little hint of clove in there still, even with all these other flavours going on. Carbonation works really well with this beer. It's quite carbonated, as you can probably see, but you expect a Weiss beer to be. And that pineapple shows itself as a much more, in the taste, much more of a fresh pineapple flavour rather than candied. Oh. And then at the back, you get that spice, you get that wheaty, bready flavour again. Oh my god, this review's a bit of a mess, but I'm just enjoying this. I'm just gobbing this. This is absolutely lovely. Slightly malty and bready to start with. Pineapple comes in quickly. It's fresh pineapple. And then the rear end, it kind of finishes off with a sweeter pineapple. That candied pineapple is back when it wasn't before. And then the flavour, the taste in your mouth at the end is, okay, it's got elements, there is, you can still taste the pineapple. But you do get that lovely wheaty, malty, spicy, slightly clove, slightly peppery, drying bitter finish. Slightly bitter finish, not very. My god. That on keg at your favourite pub in the summer. You're not going to go wrong. You are not going to go wrong. Let's have a look at the can then. Obviously it's Schöfferhofer, Hefeweizen, juicy pineapple. Schöfferhofer Juicy Pineapple is the unique combination of sparkling, smooth Schöfferhofer unfiltered Hefeweizen beer with natural pineapple flavours. The refreshing blend is perfect balance of tropical sweet and tart. Tastes best ice cold right from the can. Contains wheat and barley. Brewed and canned in Germany. And that's about it. I think that's cracking. You can't put it up against the likes. I mean, I've ordered more beers. I mean, you can't put it up against the likes of, I don't know, I've got Augustina, Hofbrau, other Weiss beers in. You can't, because obviously it's 2.5% and it's got loads of flavour in it. But I think the Schöfferhofer beers of this type are really in a league of their own. When you put them up against, I mean, this one from Brewdog was 2 percentage points higher, and it was just so artificial. They should really be the same beer. This should be better on the face of it. This should be better. It's a better ABV. A lot of it is the ABV. It's a better ABV. But Schöfferhofer have got form for brewing fantastic beers. I had their normal Weiss beer a long, long time ago now, and it's fantastic. And they've just made a different product. You know, the younger crowd, the younger guys and girls nowadays, they're not drinking high ABV beers anymore. If they're drinking beer, it tends to be the lower ABV stuff. And that just fits perfectly into the Schöfferhofer range. And like I say, kicking a ball about down the park in the summer or doing whatever you do with your mates, paddleboarding or whatever, few of them, you are going to be well happy. It's one of the best sub 3%, sub 4% beers I've tasted. And it's right up my street because pineapple is a better flavour for me personally than grapefruit. I think that's cracking. It's well worth the £1.75, 76, whatever I paid for it from Beers of Europe. Obviously, it had to have postage on top, of course. But if you pick it up from them, from their warehouse, it's the same price. It's that price, £1.76. I think that's cracking. It's worth the money every single day of the week. It hits all the right notes for me. If I'm going to be a hyper critical, I think the pineapple just overtakes the wheat beer a little bit too much. But that's just me being hypercritical. I'm happy enough to give that a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, there you go. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This is the beer of this summer. I'm telling you that everyone loves the Schöfferhofer or loves the Schöfferhofer grapefruit. The Schöfferhofer pineapple is going to do bits this summer, and I highly recommend you pick a few up. Like and subscribe, guys, if you've been so kind. Get in the comments if you've had this and let me know what you think. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.